Welcome back, everybody, to Aaron's Opinion, the podcast for blind people, where we talk about critical issues in the blindness community. Hey, I'm Aaron Richmond, and this is Aaron's Opinion. By the way, this episode of Aaron's Opinion is copywritten by me, Aaron Richmond, and Aaron's Opinion. Thank you. And you can watch this episode right here on YouTube, which I'm really getting a lot of positive feedback from, along with listening to us on your favorite podcast player. And there are a lot of ways you can listen. All right. And anyway, consider becoming a patron on my Patreon page. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and everywhere like that. All right. So earlier we were speaking with TJ, who has absolutely nothing to do with this episode, where we're going to speak with Alba. And Alba is connected with and in the community from the Eyes Like Mine Incorporated. So Alba, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and jump into, your blindness, your story, and really how you became so connected with Crystal and Eyes Like Mine Incorporated. Go right ahead.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Alba Miller. I am from Carteret, New Jersey. I am legally blind. I was born blind since I was I was diagnosed when I was 6 months old with retinitis pigmentosa, and it's commonly known as RP. I came to this country when I was 13 years old with my mom. It was only the both of us. At the time, I did not speak the language, probably just the basics. For instance, hello, like greetings and numbers. And I went to high school here. I graduated from high school. I obtained an associate's degree at Middlesex County College, and I recently graduated from Kean University. I am a single mom of a beautiful 11-year-old girl. She's sighted, and she has helped me a lot. She's basically the one who motivated me to do all this. Now that I am done with college, I have so many things in mind that I want to do. For instance, I want to have my own business, and I just want to show the world that blindness should not stop you from achieving your goals, because there's no reason to. Yeah, we probably do several things differently than the sighted community, but at the end of the day, we are able and capable of doing anything we want. So yeah, thank you for having me here. It's a pleasure.
And a great introduction. As a matter of fact, I do not know if Crystal has told you anything, but I'll tell you a little bit more about me. So my name, as you know, is Aaron Richmond. My academic background, by the way, is in the field of international relations. So I'm always interested to learn about what goes on overseas. I've done a lot of traveling around Europe. I've even been to a country in Africa. I've been to the Caribbean before. I've been all over the place. What country are you from originally?
So I am originally from Peru. That's located in South America. So, yes. Yeah.
Very, very interesting. Yes. And were you from like Lima?
Yes, I'm from the capital, that's Lima. But actually, when I was 4 years old, I moved with my mom to Argentina. We moved a couple of places hoping to get a surgery for my condition, but we did not find anything. So I've been traveling a lot too.
Yeah. The hospitals in Latin America, guys, are just not that good.
No, they're not.
No, okay, no, they aren't. Except for maybe, I don't know, very little. Except maybe there might be some better hospitals in Panama or Brazil, in the major cities in Brazil. There's a couple good hospitals, but they have a lot of problems in that region. Yeah. All right. And so then you came to the States. Eventually you end up in the States when you're 13.
Yes.
And then, that's a pretty interesting age to come to a new country when you're a teenager. That's really tough. What can you tell us about some of those. Maybe if you had some interesting experiences, as a teenager having to learn English, and things like that. Maybe some interesting or some kind of funny and ironic things that happened. So what types of experiences did you have coming to the
Wow.
States?
Well, I have a lot to say with that because first of all, like you said, in a lot of all this third world countries, there are a lot of misconceptions with people with disabilities.
Mm-hmm.
So when I came to the U.S., I was very afraid, nervous, scared because like I didn't speak the language at the time. It took me time to learn. I always had enough. I mean, I was legally blind, but I did not have to use my cane when I was younger. But when I turned 16, 17, I started to realize that I needed it. But because I was during that time where we are all teenagers, we're girls, we want to be attractive to boys. And I just saw myself like as the different. Like I asked myself many times, like, why do I have to have my cane? No one is gonna look. And stuff like that, because it's normal. We all go through that process. So it came to that point that I it was very tough for me to adjust to my new change, to know that I was losing my vision even more. So I had to adapt, and at first it was very tough for me, for the teachers, because I was very rude. But I did it because I didn't know until now that I am actually older, mature. I've learned that there are things that may be different, and that there's no reason for us to feel ashamed of ourselves because we have to wear a cane, because we have to do things differently. It's just how it is. But I know now, and I am very proud of myself for the things that I've done. And I I did apologize to all of my teachers, to all of these people that I was being rude. But I think it was I was that way because I did not want to realize that I needed the help, plus with the language, not being able to speak fluently. And so it was very, very tough, but it took some time and a adjustment, and just also getting to know other people who were blind, that kind of helped me and shaped me the way I am today, because I see them as my role models. So yeah.
Yeah. I think when I was younger, I was very self-conscious about the cane as well. And then when I was like 18, when I was 18, I got a guide dog. And then I had my guide dog for 13 years. And yeah, I think it's really important to use a cane or to use a guide dog, because it's important to show sighted people that you're blind. It's not even as much as it is for you to know where the curbs are and things like that, which that's good too, but a lot of the cane is showing someone else that you can't see well. It's kind of like the polite way of showing someone that you can't see.
And I think not only that, but it also shows the public in general that we are independent, that we are going out and doing our things. So yeah.
Okay, good. So now that you have completed your university studies, congratulations for that.
Thank you.
what are your few now? What are you going to do? What are your future goals?
So right now, I actually started my business selling clothing and purses online. That's what I'm doing. I'm selling things online, and I also recently started, making food, like cooking food, and then selling that. So that's what I'm doing until I find the job that I want. I did start applying to a couple of places, and I'm also thinking of writing my own book.
All of these are good ideas, and all of which I have ideas about. One of the ideas I'll tell you after we finish the recording. The other one about the book. I have had so many people, Alba, who have come to me and they say, I'm publishing a book, I'm writing a book. The next thing I say, I've said it so many times, is great. Can you come to Aaron's Opinion and talk about your book? Maybe after you publish it, can you do a audiobook series where you read your book on my podcast? The next thing you're going to say is, yes, of course, Aaron, I would love to come. And then you're never going to come because nobody has ever come to do that. Nobody has ever come to read their books on my podcast. I wish that you would be the first person to do that.
Really? Well, let's make the difference. I have no problem. The reason why I want to have this book, why I want to publish this book, is because I want to use myself. I want to share my story with other people that can be related, and I want to transform their lives. So anywhere I can share my book, I will definitely do it. So if you invite me, yeah, you're recording this, so I am telling you that I will come, and I'll definitely be on your podcast if you allow me to.
I absolutely, yes. I not only allow you, but really tremendously compel you and encourage you to come here and read your book for us. That would be a tremendously valuable activity. And when we do that, hopefully by then you will have published the book on Amazon, and then we'll put the Amazon link in the description of those videos for you. And then you'll be able to, to really promote your book in a really positive way. So what is this book going to be about?
So basically, I'm going to talk about my story because I went through a lot of things as a blind person.
Mm-hmm.
Just to mention, like, my family, particularly my own mom, and this is when I said that, that it's so sad that in these countries, people have a lot of misconceptions about people with disabilities. So
yeah, I know. I've been talking about it for years. I know.
Yeah,
and it must be, and I have to tell you, it must be really, I know how frustrating it is for me as an American guy. I see myself, kind of in a global I'm kind of a cosmopolitan guy because French is my second language. I can speak French, so I've been to France a lot. So, I know how it is overseas, in the European mind, frame of mind, and even how it is in Africa, in a particular country in Africa and the Eastern Caribbean. So I've seen how disability is handled in a lot of parts of the world. And really the point that stands out to me is that the people are usually a lot kinder overseas to people with disabilities. However, there are far less opportunities for people with disabilities overseas. So I agree with you, but my point behind all of this is it must be really, really frustrating for you as a Peruvian person who's worked really hard, who's come here, you support the United States, and then you still have people who are rude and are assholes. Doesn't that get annoying when you're from another country and you come here and people are rude? Don't you hate that? God.
Oh, of course, yeah.
That must be very disheartening. Yeah.
And the thing with me, though, and I I had to actually learn how to, control myself and not because I'm very impulsive. But sometimes with certain people, you can't help it. I just can't understand why a lot of people are so ignorant. It doesn't get through my head. So, and the part that I dislike the most is that, and you probably will agree with me, that we always have to be proving other people that we could do it. Why do we need to do that? Why? Because we are just like any other person. But why do we always have to be proved to others that, yeah, we could do this, we could do that? Why? If we just like anyone else in this world. So basically what I do, I want to share in my book. Not only for blind people. So my book is going to go for every person who just wants to transform their lives, who went through a lot of things throughout their lives, and that there's a way, there's the light at the end of the tunnel. There's a lot of things that we could do despite everything that has happened in the past. And I just don't want to say, I understand your point. Because I'm telling you, I'm sharing my story. I'm telling you, I'm gonna talk to all my audience as I'm a one-on-one, because I want them to know that, yeah, we go through a lot of things, but that helps us to become the people we will be in the future. We become stronger, and that there's a lot for us to do, and that we deserve to be happy. And I want other people to be not only to be happy, but to just to to live the lives that they deserve. And I'm not telling you as another person outside of the picture. I've been there. I 10 years ago or 15 years ago, I would not be the person I am today. I did not believe in myself. I did not think that I would be able to do so many things, but it has changed. And I want to show others that we could do it. So that's what I want in my book. That's what I want to show in my book.
Well, I'm determined to help you with this project, and determined to give you the privilege and the opportunity to read it for us. And I think that will really start to help people and really kind of get things back on the right track for people with disabilities here in the States. I think that would be really good. That would be incredibly helpful. So, all right. Well, how are you spending your free time when you are not on podcasts or things like this?
Well, my daughter, she's a hybrid student. And when she's here, I have to make sure I help her with homework. I do the things here in my house. Now I'm starting this thing with my business. So I'm trying to set everything for it, because it takes a lot of time. So I had to be 100% mom for my daughter. And I also have to do my personal thing. So I'm trying, there are days that, that I feel like doing nothing, but my daughter needs me to be there. So she's like, she's always pushing me in, but at the same time, motivating me to do more and more, just to well, this is why I'm doing all of this, because eventually I want to be able to provide a better future for my child. So yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Great. Excellent. Yeah, we all should provide more, and should want the best. We all want the best, of course. And in these trying times, it's just very, 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 it's a very disheartening time right now and a very
Yes.
confusing time. So
Yeah.
with this book you're going to write, are you going to write it in both Spanish and English or just English?
Well, I do want to translate that to Spanish, but I will first start in English. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what
What
that's what I
about what about the language called Rumamesi? Do you speak that language?
No, I don't know. I can't. No. What's
Um,
that?
the I forget what it's called in English. The name for the language in their own language is Rumamesi, the language of the world. It's the language that the First Nations people of Peru speak.
Oh wow, no, I
Oh,
did
I know
not.
what it's called. The word just came to me. Quechua. Do you speak Quechua?
Oh no, it's actually pronounced Quechua. No,
Quechua. Quechua.
uh-huh.
That's it. Yes. Yes. Do you speak that one?
No, I don't. I
I
don't
see.
speak it, but my grandparents from both sides of my family do speak. Yeah. The only thing I know how to say is Ari, which is yes, and in the Kichu Manachu, okay, that's do you understand? That's it. That's the only two words I know.
I see. I see. I see. Because I thought maybe eventually you could get a book published in English, Spanish, and Quechua.
Wow.
All all of, all of those languages, and then be I don't know, be like a recognized as a blind person who wrote a book in three languages about your life. That could be a really interesting book.
Yeah, that's actually a great idea. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you should have it translated into that other language I mentioned, and then you can get other Peruvians who maybe speak that. You could get it. You could sell it into that. I guess into that diaspora. I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting. All right. All right. And
Yeah,
so
definitely.
how did you come to meet Crystal, and how did you get into this whole eyes like mine thing?
To be honest, I do not recall exactly, but I did, I think from the NFB, but I've been participating in a couple of her events. She's been inviting me to participate in the pageant now, and I always said yes, but I had other things to do. So this situation with COVID kind of helped because I mean there was no excuse. Everything was virtual. So yeah, and I was able to join, and I had a lot of fun there, and I feel that I learned a lot, and I also met excellent people. So yeah.
Excellent. All right. All right. And what type of work are you doing, if any, for Eyes Like Mine Incorporated? Do you do events with them? And how else are you connected to that organization, I guess? Yeah.
So now, since I am the Miss Independent 2020 winner, um, we like here with you. They invite us to participate in different podcasts. Um, we are planning. I am a part of the team for the pageant of 2021. um, I wish we could do, because she used to do fundraising and other different things that unfortunately we can't do right now. But that's what we are doing, and I wanted to participate. They have this event, Dance with the Blind, where they invite people who would like to dance or sing, like to show their art. And I like to sing. I am not a professional singer, but I do enjoy it, and I would like to help them that way. So for anything that I can help, and if they need me there, like I definitely will help them. So yeah.
Excellent. Well, that is really good. All of that is really good. So have you ever heard of Aaron's Opinion before? Crystal mentioned this, or?
N- No, I did not have the privilege to hear that. So this is actually my first time. This is my first time doing a podcast, being interviewed by someone. So I am very excited.
That is good. Yeah, you should do your own podcast, really.
Really? You think so?
Sure,
Probably.
sure. You should definitely do your own podcast. Yes. Hmm.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Where
Yeah.
you can do, one side of the podcast can be episodes that you record in Spanish, and then the other side can be episodes you record in English. And then you can speak to two different audiences. It can be very interesting like that. Hmm.
Mm. Yeah, probably right. Just invite people there getting to know, because I feel that's something that I need help with public speaking, and I think that this is what it's helping me, because I am not. It gives me the opportunity to open myself more to other people, and not to be scared when I have to speak in front of a huge crowd. So, and that's what I eventually want to do too. I forgot to mention that I do would like to be a motivational speaker.
Mm. Have you been that can be a great idea. Have you been watching other motivational speakers?
Yes, actually, a friend of mine, Rosa Santiago. I'm not sure if you heard about her. I've been following her, and she's helping me and by coaching me to do this speaking, learning how to speak in public, and all her tips. I just started it, so it's gonna take some time, but I am ready for it. I do want to learn and be able to travel to different parts of the country and even in the world, and sharing my story and a message to other people.
So you should do a lot of monologues on your podcast
Mm.
where you basically talk to yourself about a certain topic for X number of minutes. I started doing those for 30 minutes a day, where I would just, record myself talking about a specific topic. And then now I would get the topics based off of the questions that people were asking in various, blind and visually impaired support groups all over Facebook. And eventually what happens is the questions that you answer, those people who ask those questions become your audience. And then they start wanting to guest with you, and then you can build up a podcast that way. So that's how I did it, because I felt that there just were not really enough podcasts where someone who's blind can come and have a conversation in a very easy and a very direct way. Hmm. So,
But here's the thing: how would you know, right? Or what can help you to select the right topic for your podcast? Or
well, so I mean, what you do, the way I started it was I read questions that people were posting in the blind and visually impaired support group on Facebook, right?
okay.
And then from there I would do an episode where I answered the question. Someone asked the question about, what is your opinion about adopting a pet, right? And I walked through the whole episode where I talked through all the positives and negatives of adopting a pet and what
Mm.
my opinion was. Or someone wanted to know about guide dogs, so I talked about that. Someone wanted to know about universities, I talked about that. You have to focus on your audience, and then your audience, and you have to know who your audience is. Hmm.
Mm.
Definitely. So that's how you can get into this, and that's how you can build up a podcast. Hmm.
Yeah, that sounds so. Yeah, that well, if it were for me, trust me, I would love to do everything. But I know I need to start somewhere, so
Right.
and then walk myself to the top of the mountain, because that's how I see it.
And it
So
definitely is it's a very slow process, a very arduous process. But when you really focus on your audience and you really enjoy talking to them, then it really is, worthwhile. I think, yeah. And
oh yeah, definitely.
it's very enjoyable to record yourself and to record episodes and to send it out and put it together and hear back from people. Usually people don't say anything to me, but occasionally people comment below and stuff like that. Mm-hmm.
So what I am planning to do, because I do have a YouTube channel, so I am planning to upload some content there, and that's how I would like to start. Yeah, and we'll see what happens.
Let me extend an offer to you. If you want, you can interview me on your channel, and that can be a good practice for you for interviewing people and to learn how to have a conversation. And it's really important when you're a podcaster to guest on other people's channels and guest on other podcasts. So
Yes.
I would love to help you with that if that
Oh,
interests
thank
you. Yeah,
you. Of
yeah,
course.
sure, sure.
Everything, because everything is a learning experience. So if, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes an opportunity may not be present a second time. So if there's an offer at that time, take it or not take it. So I am taking it. So thank you for that, because
We'll set
I
my
do want
my
to learn.
pleasure. You're welcome. I greatly enjoy the guesting, you see, because if I'm on someone else's show, I can open up even more. I can say even more interesting things, because it's not my fault if I'm on someone else's show. So kind of is it's kind of an advantage when you're the guest, that gives you a little bit of, you kind of have an edge. It's like, it's like you're in someone's house, but you also brought some really good food. So
Yeah,
it's kind of an interesting dynamic. Yes. Hmm.
perfect.
We will certainly set this up. Any final questions for me?
So
Sure.
other than,
Ask all of your questions, by the way.
yeah, other than that, what do you do? What's
So
your profession?
I teach English as a second language online for Company X. I've been working for Company X for 5 years. Mhm.
You know why I asked that? Because when you asked me how to pronounce my name,
Mhm.
it's like you have a good pronunciation in
Thank you.
different languages. So that's the reason why I asked, because I kind of figured that you were some sort of a teacher teaching a language. That's the good thing with us as blind people, that talking to a person we can get so many things. I mean, that's how I am, at least. Just feeling the vibe, or kind of knowing what this person does. So I
Right.
mean, that's the way I am, and I see that as a gift. So that's my gift, one of my gifts.
Well, that's great. That's great. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think speaking French for me helps me to be flexible with other languages and to hear new names and to hear new information. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, every language has beautiful names, very very interesting sounding names, for sure. Yeah. Hmm. But I've had very few students from Peru over the past 5 years. I've spoken to very few Peruvians actually, but it's
Oh,
hmm
and do you teach online? Is
right.
so everything?
It's it's an online application. It's an online platform. I don't say what it's called during the podcast, and when I'm teaching, I don't say what my podcast is called. I keep those things separate. But it's
Yeah.
a specific application where students, come to it. They create an account. They pay money to the company, and then they're able to access tutors and learn English. It's really really valuable for a lot of people, and so many people need to learn English around the world. It's quite a dire situation. Hmm.
Yes, and how accessible is it to you
This
getting
partic-
to the platform?
this particular company is very accessible.
So, did you request that, or they already had it in place
I was
for you?
lucky. I was lucky. It was already good 5 years ago.
Oh, that's good because
It
you
is.
didn't. Yes, because not a lot of us have the same luck. So you
Yeah,
were a lucky
yeah,
person.
not to worry. I've had plenty of bad luck. Don't worry. With other things in my life, I've been amazingly unlucky. But one of the lessons I've learned so far in life is that it's something that one of my students said. It was a student not from Peru. I forget which country, one of the Latin American countries, and he was a doctor. And I kind of told him about my situation, how, I'm blind, I cannot see. And he said, that's fine, Aaron. He said, because in life, it's important to remember that every person on the planet has ability, and that same person has at least one disability. And that's
Yes.
a really wise thing, a really wise comment to make. So, if you're upset because someone got something that you didn't get, or you think things are unfair, well, that's true. Things are unfair, even in America. America is not perfect. I'm not going to tell you that it is. It's not a perfect society. But the truth is that we all have ability, we all have disability, and it's up for us to decide to make the most of things and to only focus on to figure out what we need to be doing and to spend the energy focusing on that. And there are times when people lose. Everybody has their ups and downs. And if you
Correct.
if you meet someone, guys, that tells you, "Oh, I'm perfect. I've never been pushed down."
That's
I think to myself, "Wow, what a liar I just met!" Because everybody, God, what a liar! Anybody who says, "No, I've never failed," nope, nope. I think liar, liar. Yeah, you have. Yeah, you have. You just don't want to say it. Or the other way to look at things is, we also think that things are very, that people can be very, discriminatory, and that there's all these problems. Well, everyone faces discrimination, even if you're sighted. It's just more noticeable when you have a disability. It's more apparent. But
yeah.
everybody faces some level of discrimination, even in the United States. Everybody is at some point harassed or discriminated against, and that's just the way our country and society is. So that's life. Yeah.
Yeah, that is life, and like you said, we just have to do the best of it and learn from that experience
Right.
because that helps us to grow and become stronger as a person. So yeah, I totally agree with that because yeah, life is full of these things, but we have to be positive. We have to live our life because we may be here tonight. I'm here talking with you, but we don't know what will happen tomorrow. So that's the truth of the story. That's how I feel. And that's how I believe.
All
So
right, all right. Well, you've done a magnificent job. I will strongly consider. I'll see if I can set up a playlist. I've never done that on YouTube. I'll see if I can set up a playlist and publish this out, and then send a playlist up to Crystal. I think she would certainly appreciate that. Don't hang up. I have a question. Let's end this recording so we can get this moving. You've been listening to Aaron's Opinion, the podcast for blind people, where, of course, we spoke about a lot of critical issues in the blindness community. If you want to get in touch with me about this episode, you can, of course, comment below or write an email to excuse me, Aaron's Opinion 6 at gmail.com. All right. Consider following us everywhere you want. And as I like to say, help one person. Help one person today. Help a million others tomorrow.